Om Sri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. So you can repeat after me. I will chant this mantra sloka line by line before we go into Aṣṭāvakra Gītā. Sadashiva Samarambham
Sadashiva Samarambham
Shankaracharya Madhyamam
Shankaracharya Madhyamam
Asmadacharya Paryantam
Asmaradapacharya Paryantam
Vande Guru Paramparam
Vande Guru Paramparam
Shruti Smriti Purananam
Suti Smriti
Smriti Purananam
Puranam
Alayam Karunalayam Alayam Karunalayam
Arunyam
Namami Bhagavad Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Namami Bhagavad Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram. So we will go over with the meaning of the Mangalacharana later sometimes. So right now we just take it as paying our obeisance to all the Guru Parampara, including Shankaracharya, including our own personal Guru. That is what the Śloka says. So we're beginning to study Aṣṭāvakra Gītā. It's a Aṣṭāvakra Gītā. It's a separate Advaita Vedānta text. And it presents a dialogue between Ashtavakra, Sage Aṣṭāvakra, and King Janaka. Yes, it is also found in Mahabharata, but it is not a part of Mahabharata like Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is dialogue happens as a part of the Mahabharata itself. So Asṭāvakra Gītā comes in between, but it's not part of the Mahabharata. So this Gita, Aṣṭāvakra Gītā, has 20 chapters and 298 verses. And it starts with a self-inquiry, a question from King Janaka to Sage Aṣṭāvakra. The text itself is very profound. It goes directly into self-inquiry with an assumption that the seeker is already qualified with certain qualities, which in Vedanta we call adhikara. This student, seeker, is already qualified with the adhikara. So what are the adhikara? They are viveka, vairāgya, sama, dema, uparati, tidiksha, shraddha, samadhanam, and mumukshutva. So we learned that in Viveka Chudamani, we call samadhi shatka sampat. Viveka, sadhana chadushtaya. Viveka, vairāgya, samadhi shatka sampata, mumukshutva. The samadhi shatka sampata becomes a sama, dema, uparati, tidiksha, shraddha, samadhana. Now quickly look at that. What are they? Viveka means a discrimination between eternal and impermanent, permanent and impermanent, or sat and asat. Vairagya is a detachment to the worldly things, a freedom from attachment or detachment. It don't have to be a complete detachment, but understand it clearly, the difference of attachment and have some dispassion. Then the seeker also have developed shama. Shama is a mastery of the mind, controlling, be able to control your mind. Dhamma is a controlling your senses. Both work together. One who is able to control the senses also able to control the mind. One who is able to control the mind also able to control the senses. Then comes uparati. Uparati is a natural. Once you know, once you're able to, those who are able to control your mind and your senses are naturally, there's a withdrawal that happens within you. That's called uparati. Then the next one is called titiksha. Now, titiksha, it, to be patient, to be to have some endurance for some small difficulties, because there is a goal. Once you fix your mind on a certain goal, but minor afflictions will not bother you. You keep going. So if you stay there and try to take care of those, then then you will not be able to travel. So those who they have already developed to ignore that and keep going, because obstructions will come, difficulties will come, then one should be able to move forward. That's called tidiksha. Then the most important thing is one must have a shraddha, you know, because this sadhaka, this student already have developed these qualities, now need to have a shraddha. So he should already develop the humility, should be a very humble person, and wanting to know and realize it that I cannot myself understand what I really wanted to know, even though it may sounds to be simple and simple, that it's a self-inquiry. Most people think it's self-inquiry. What is the difficulty in self-inquiry? It is about me. When we start thinking inquiring, that's when we find out it is so subtle that our senses are not capable of understanding it. That's our issue. So one must have a shraddha. Shraddha is a trust. One must trust the guru that who is teaching you, and the shastra also. The guru will direct you to a shastra. One must have a shraddha. It is not about trusting the guru. It's not about anything about the faith that normally we call for in bhakti. It is not like that. This is what is initially required. Once you have learned that this is immaterial, because you are experience yourself. Once you experience yourself, the faith is not required. But until then, one must trust the Guru's words and the Shastra. Then you keep going, inquire, and ask as many questions until then you can see throughout the Upanishads, you can see the student, the seeker, keep asking the questions always. That is important. So that is called Saddha. And then Samadhana. Now, once you have developed all these qualities, naturally knows how to deal with the situation. In the material life, we have all this different kama, krodha, lobha, moha. All this comes. uh, All this comes. Grandchildren come very close to you, hugging you. You love the grandchildren. At the same time, someone comes and get angry with you. One must be able to deal both with calm mind. Not that you don't get angry, not that you don't express a love, but dealing with those with the samadhana, with the shanti, with the inner peace, one should be able to handle. That's called samadhana. Then certainly when we achieve those, then the mumukshutva happens. Now mumukshutva happens not immediately, may not, they maybe already have started Moksha, but not necessary immediately. It could be that the mumukshutva happens after traveling with the guru sometimes, and then the mumukshutva happens. But the desire of knowing yourself, desire of the knowledge should have kindled already. Only then this Aṣṭāvakra Gītā will help you. So here to begin with, the teacher, Sage Aṣṭāvakra, is not explaining all this here, all these qualities, because Janaka already has those. That is what the Aṣṭāvakra Gītā is. It's a profound Advaitic Vedic text. They go directly into the problems, into the three dukkha, tapatraya. So how do you completely remove that, and that it go directly into it? So we all know that Janaka is. Janaka is a king of Videha in Mithila. So now it is in Bihar. And the time in our history, all this, even Mahabharata, all different events that happened, all the stories was established. The time is it's very difficult to decide. But there are certain proof, certain text has called out, so we can see it is at least have happened somewhere before 700 BC or 700 to 500 BC. That's all we can estimate. Now, when we go to Puranas, we'll tell you 5,000 years ago, Janaka, Rama's time was before 5,000 years ago in Dwapara Yuga. But those are Puranas and stories we not good evidence to show. Evidence is only the words of Guru Parambara in other texts. That's the only thing we can do. But it is immaterial for our discussion anyway. So we'll go directly into the Aṣṭāvakra Gītā. So there's lots of talks about Aṣṭāvakra. There's a story behind Aṣṭāvakra. Vakra means bent. So he has 8 bends in his body. There's a story, obviously, there, how it becomes. So we will not go into that much into story. It's immaterial for us. No reason for us to be able to understand, but later we may start thinking about talking about that. If anyone has questions about that, I have heard, I want to clarify why, then we can certainly discuss about that. But the legend says that the sage was walking towards the place where the King Janaka was having a discussion with the jñānis. And then they all laughed by seeing him. And then this incident, from this incident, King Janaka understood that this sage, this jñānis that I am discussing, trying to get help from, they're not actually qualified to do that because they were laughing at by seeing his body. And then he accepted Mr. Sage Aṣṭāvakra as a guru and then start the inquiry. So we'll go directly into that inquiry. As I said before, this Aṣṭāvakra Gītā has 20 different chapters and 298 verses. The first chapter has 20 verses. It is more inquiry who I am. And then Ashtavakra gives the meaning. So we will go directly into it and then start learning it. And later we can go back to the story behind it. If we have any questions, we can certainly address that. The first sloka, so I will chant line by line, so you can repeat, and then we will try to see what does it means. kathaṃ jñānam avāpnoti, kathaṃ muktir bhaviṣyati.
kathaṃ avāpnoti, kathaṃ muktir vivashyati.
So I should have said, Janaka Uvacha. Janaka is speaking here. Janaka is asking. Janaka Uvacha kathaṃ jñānam avāpnoti kathaṃ muktir bhaviṣyati.
Janaka uvacha. Kam jnana avāpnoti, kathaṃ muktir bhaviṣyati.
Vairāgyaṃ ca kathaṃ prāptam etad brūhi mama prabho.
kathaṃ prāptam etad brūhi mama prabho.
Kathaṃ jñānam avāpnoti kathaṃ muktir bhaviṣyati.
Kathaṃ jnānam avāpnoti, kathaṃ muktir vivashyati.
Vairāgyaṃ ca kathaṃ prāptam etad brūhi mama prabho.
Vairāgyaṃ cha kathaṃ prāptam, etad brūhi
mama prabho.
So here, I think Janaka is asking. Janaka uvacha. Uvacha means is asked. Kathaṃ. Kathaṃ means how. Jñānam. Avāpnoti. How attains. Mukti means liberation. Bhaviṣyati means how does it happen? Will arise. Vairāgyaṃ. We know Vairagya means dispassion. Cha. Always you see cha in Sanskrit Śloka. Cha means and. So sometimes the cha in Sanskrit can be used in more than one. Or cha can be used in one place, combining everything. Like in English, we have to put comma. In Sanskrit, no comma is required. You can put cha at the end. That means you this and this and this and this. Or we can do cha everywhere. So they have the freedom when they write sloka, to complete their chandas. So mukti prāptam means how do you attain? Etad, this brūhi. Brūhi, hey, explain to me. Explain to me. Tell me. Mama prabho, hey prabho. So if you do the padacheda, so it will be kathaṃ jñānam avāpnoti kathaṃ muktihi bhaviṣyati. So there is a samasa padam. Muktir bhaviṣyati means muktihi bhaviṣyati. Vairāgyaṃ ca kathaṃ prāptam etad brūhi mama prabho. So only the kathaṃ jñānam avāpnoti. That also has a samasa padam. That's together. Samasa padam means jñānam avāpnoti together will be jñānam avāpnoti. That's why you see in the sloka jñānam avāpnoti. Kathaṃ muktihi bhaviṣyati. That means then when you combine together, muktir bhaviṣyati. Vairāgyaṃ ca kathaṃ prāptam etad brūhi mama prabho. So let me chant one more time. Kathaṃ jñānam avāpnoti kathaṃ muktir bhaviṣyati. Vairāgyaṃ ca kathaṃ prāptam etad brūhi mama prabho. So simple meaning will be, hey king, hey prabho, prabho, hey sage, or hey oh master, tell me how is a self-knowledge attained? How does the liberation come about? How about dispassion is attained? So you already know that this question can already be asked for a person who knows, who understands that self, knowledge of the self is required. Or the person knows there is already a misunderstanding of the self. Commonly, the question comes from the person who understands that I am not this body, and I'm not this mind either. So the subtle body and the gross body, this seeker is already have separated. He knows that's not what it is, but he has a hard time to understand. So what is it? So it is, if you would think about that, it's really easy for us to make that decision that I am not this body, because we have seen many dead bodies and we can see our own body. We started with when we are a child, and then now we have a different body, and we have our mind is also has changed. So we can easily understand, if I am that, then I should be able to have that. Then I'm the owner of it. I should keep that. No, I can't keep it. I can only keep it for that second, for that instant, and the next instant that change. It goes away from me. But that, yeah, so what? But there is a me that is not, that have never changed. It requires a little bit of contemplation, a little bit of thinking. And only one who have that uh, you can deeply go into it can only keep these two separate from you, because we can see all the changes in a body as we grow. That all happens. The mind has changed, the buddhi has changed, but one thing that was not changed was me. I was there when I was child, I was there when I was an adult, I was there. I was when I become a mother or father. I was there when I know, retired. Whatever stage you are, but I was there. So I is a common factor of all this. Without changing it, while all these different things change, all the different identifications have changed. So I am, but I do not know what that is. I have no idea. But I know this is not, it's what my body, my physical body is not me. I know my subtle body is not me. I know that. But how do I find out who I am really then? This is the difficulty. Seems like Janaka has it. That's maybe why I'm sure that's why he's asking, how is the self-knowledge attained? How do I understand it? And then he must have also already known. He's asking already, how does the liberation happen? He must already know what the liberation is. He must already know about the Tapatrayas, the three different sorrows that we have. Is there three different sorrows? No, no, we have hundreds of sorrows. What they do, what the sages do, they put that in the three different buckets, that's all. Does not mean that we don't have one another. Means all the sorrows together, they put them in a three bucket called Adhyatmika, Adi Devika, Adi Bhautika. That's what they do. They put all this together. That includes everything. That's all it means. But the problem with that is we try to solve one, and then it keeps coming to you. Adhyatmika, you can try to solve. Take medicine, get some money, get some nice house, so protect from the weather, whatever. We try to do that, but no matter what you do, it keeps coming to you. Get about the Adi Devika and Bhautika. No matter how much police protection we have, military protection we have, we still have attack from the others. Adi Devika is even beyond the control. Hurricanes, extreme heat in Dallas, and so forth. All this keep coming. We have no control of that. But sage understand that as sage says, I want to get rid of all this here. I want to know, how do I get rid of all this? He wants to know. That is why he wants a liberation. Liberation means he wants to get out of the sorrows. That's what the liberation. He doesn't want to be suffering. That's what he's asking for, liberation. How is the dispassion? He understand that he also understood that the causes of his sorrow is attachment to the senses. He's that far. He's at that level. The causes of the desire is because of the attachment to the senses. He knows that. Now he's asking, why? How can I do? I cannot do all this here. How can how do I know myself? Eh? How do I get liberation? What is the liberation about? How does it come out? How it come? Then how is the dispassion? So this is what the first question is. So is that clear? So where, Minnie? Any
Yeah.
questions from there?
There are many more questions in there, except he's asking about three things: knowledge, he's asking about liberation, and asking about renunciation. But there are many other issues. Tapasriyas, all the senses. He's not talking about any of those things yet.
Yeah, he's asking three serious questions, right? Really, three serious
Yeah.
questions. Well, the knowledge is, knowledge he's asking for is not a knowledge of any material things. He's asking for how the knowledge, the self-knowledge. The self-knowledge means, yeah, sounds simple, right? Some self-knowledge. Self-knowledge means knowing yourself, knowing the self. How do I know myself is how the question is. And, that is what the problem is, right? The people
Yeah.
nowadays, people know, the materialistic people think that I know already. I know who I am. But King Janaka realized it. No, that is not what I know about me is not who. That's not what I am. King Janaka realized it. That's what he's asking. How do I find out who it is? So self-knowledge. How does the liberation comes about? So we will discuss. He further discuss about liberation. What actually liberation is. So we can learn from there. But why should you think? What do you think one thinks about the liberation? What do you think? Many. What is the reason of what do you think the reason he's asking for liberation?
First, to get out of the
Sorrow.
sansar, birth and death.
Yeah, because of suffering. Oh, very good point. Very good. I wasn't going to touch that, but you did. You did. I wasn't going to touch that again because all the Samatrayas is all good, but ultimately death is going to come to us, right? Death is going to come. Deterioration of our body comes, no matter how we try to protect. But uh, King Janaka thinks he wants to get out of that. He wants to get out of the death. He doesn't want to die. And he seemed like he understood death is to the body and not me. He understood that far. So that is exactly right. So he's the reason why one asks for liberation, that he is afraid they are afraid of birth and death. They know they have to. But so why do you think? Let's discuss a little bit about what time is. Let's get a little bit about what do you think the reason?
But
How does the birth and death happen? So do we have a clear understanding?
yeah,
It is when we hold on to
this is all because the karmas, all the prarabdha karmas.
the
All the
vasanas.
karmas, yeah.
And karmas come from all the vasanas. So this is we can make a flow chart. How that happen, you know. So
From our study, correct. From our studies, we have learned from Vairāgya we have learned, or our Bhagavad Gita we have learned, and if you take all the other things, so a simple way of understanding it, there are two different things that affects our travel towards liberation. That is our own created habits. We have when in the human life we have developed some habits for ourselves, and that developed habits in a subtle form is called vasana, or maybe karana sharira. And because it's caused as another sharira, they call karana sharira also. But not only that, we also accumulated some karma phala. That is good karma and bad karma, all that. Sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. or the karma phala. So based on the karma phala and our vasana, we have to accept that results. And we want to accept it. The vasana is something we want to do. We want to accept the vasana. So based on the vasana, it's only we get the body. But unfortunately, not when we try to enjoy the vasanas based on what we have created, the karma phala also is going to come and attack. Yes. And we can see all of a sudden everything was going smoothly. All of a sudden something else has happened, and the person becomes so distressed. Karma phala is there. Not only the vasana directors, karma phala is there. Very, very good points. I know.
Well,
Anything?
some of the karmas got dissolved, but some of the karmas carries on. So you have to look at the power of the karmas.
Yeah, right. Some of the karma, some of that we can find the solution in this life only.
Yep.
Right. So we can, if someone, so we happen to behave in an inappropriate way, or look or talk to a person in anger or something, we can go ask for forgiveness, and that probably remove that karma phala. But there are many that we are not able to do that. There's two different phala for each action. It's called drishta phala and adrishta phala. In Drishtapala, when it comes, we always receive it immediately. And we may even find out solution for it, and maybe pay some penalty or solution for it. But Adrishtapala, we don't. Adrishtapala, we not even see now. They may not come in this life. So there we have no choice. So karma phala is always going to come back for us. Any other discussions? We will from starting tomorrow. We try to catch up at least 2 slokas, depending on how much discussion we have. We don't have to, but today we have to do some little bit of introduction. Tomorrow we probably start, but at least 2 slokas a day, and that was our plan. So any questions from this year?
I just have one question, and that is when we do the sandhi viched for muktir bhaviṣyati. Like so, instead of when we do the viched, it become muktiha. So is it always like
Yeah, it's always like that because when you say bhaviṣyati, so what happens? There's a vyanjana comes right up, swara and vyanjana, right? So a, I, u, the swara, then ka, ga, ka, that's all happens. It's the vyanjana. So right before that, there's a visarga comes, so we pronounce as muktir. There's some say if it's sa comes here different, okay? Sa, sha comes here different. Ka comes different. So there is separate rule for different. Not all vyanjanas. The ka or kaka or papa comes this one. We call umatmaniya jikwa muriga. So I'll tell you as it comes. Good question. Good question.
what
Sa
happens to
comes.
ra? What happens to ra? It's become silent then muktir. There is no ra now.
Yeah, the visarga becomes is changed to muktir.
See right above the bha.
Bhaviṣyati.
Yeah.
Kathaṃ muktir bhaviṣyati. Muktir. So I will tell you as and when the visarga comes. So the different rules apply to that. So after some time we will even go through the results. So immediately, if I go through the results, how both different visargas are pronounced in different situations, we might not remember that. So, but as it comes here, we can definitely go through that. Yeah, it's always before the bha comes for sure. Sure. So we can take it that like that with that. So muktir bhaviṣyati. So that becomes in Sanskrit it's called samastapada or samasapada. So because it's one here is not samasapada, it's samastapada only. Because there's no samasa. It's only santi. Samastapada. Santi is joined, that's all. So Santi. Kathaṃ jñānam avāpnoti, kathaṃ muktir bhaviṣyati, vairāgyaṃ cha kathaṃ prāptam, etad brūhi mama prabho. So he's asking, hey prabho, tell me, tell me, what is jnana? How do I jnana? How do I get it? How do I get vairāgya? How do I get mukti? So very profound question. So we'll continue with that for tomorrow. So we'll have weekdays, 2:45 to 3:30 is what this session will last. So all are free to join. I have sent out a Google form for you to register. You have simple questions there to answer, then you can certainly join. It will be in English for sure. So you can and those who have everyone knows English. So it is for wider view listeners. And I will create this video into YouTube. And those who are not able to attend in person can certainly listen to the YouTube and ask questions in the comments column. If you ask questions, if you're not able to join in person, in the comment column, please ask questions. That way we can keep communicating.
Friday ഉണ്ടോ അപ്പോഴ്? Friday ലാസ്റ്റ് ഫ്രൈഡേ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ലല്ലോ അല്ലേ?
No. So try to do it in English, that way everyone understand.
Okay.
No,
Is it-
Friday, yeah, we will have Friday. We will do in the weekdays. Monday, yeah, there are some days we may take off, but for whatever reason, I will let you know. But other than that, we'll
Okay.
have it on the weekdays, not Saturday and Sunday. We do on the weekdays.
All right.
Weekdays,
So,
2:45 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. CST, Houston time or Texas time.
What was the second Mangal Shlok?
Yeah, we don't have that.
Second